What was the best karma is a bitch moment you have witnessed? Part 2. When I was driving my Jeep very carefully in a snowstorm and someone in a Mustang passed me in an unsafe manner, he almost lost control of his car, which would have caused an accident that included me. Picture someone dangerously fishtailing right in front of you with an 18-wheeler coming at you in the other lane. Saw him in a ditch about 5 minutes later. Idiot. This happened to me in London with a sudden snow flurry. I was driving down a hill and my car was sliding towards parked cars, so I was taking it slow. The guy behind was driving a Land Rover and tooting at me to hurry up, ending up overtaking me at speed. Get home a few minutes later and the guy is sitting on my garden wall with a gash on his hat. His car had crashed into the central bollards. I asked him if he wanted to come in to wait for the emergency services, but he was too embarrassed. Couldn't help myself and told him he was driving too fast. He said he thought Land Rovers were made to drive in those conditions. On my drive back from school, I witnessed a car run a red light in front of a cop. The car was subsequently pulled over. I pointed laughing and then immediately smashed into the car in front of me. Karma train! That was seriously risky of you, but I raise my hat to you and your gonads. I hope his life went downhill from there. I was kicking a customer out for being racist and cursing at one of my employees. He yelled offensive stuff and then he tried to slam the door on his way out, but it had one of those things on it that make the door close slowly. He pushed it hard, it didn't budge, and he slipped and fell on the floor. We had a good laugh. Had something similar happened in high school. A guy got upset with another student and flipped his desk at someone. They weren't involved until he flipped the desk at them, and then tried to storm out and slam the door. It was amazing to see a flipped desk lead to a gentle click from the door. When my ex-husband, who stole $4,000 from me to go visit his mistress in another country, called me to beg for money, actually my credit card number, because his lights got cut off. I can see you sitting there, grinning ear to ear, drinking a glass of wine, just flipping the lights on and off. Actually, at the time, I kind of actually considered it. Had to call support to talk me down. Excuse me, I need to find an overdue glass of wine and flip some switches. The other day, I was taking my dog for a walk around the neighborhood. She squatted down to take a shit and I reached for my doggy bags only to realize I was fresh out. So I peeked around making sure nobody was looking and I just left it. 10 minutes later, I'm walking across the road and I cut through a thin grass median in a center and what do you know? I stepped in dog shit. I wasn't even mad. I knew I deserved it. I was driving down a pretty main street in my town when I saw a middle-aged woman look both ways and drop her dog's full bag of poop on the side of the road. Like, why even bring it back? Happened to me at work. Meth head was trying to pay with like 1,000 coins for a $5 stretch off. She tried to say she was only 10 cents short. Ended up being over $1 short, then complained and said any decent person would have spotted her the money. Pretty much told her she could go down the street and try there if she'd like. She pulled out a 20 and bought 2. As she walked out the store, she said, "Karma is a bitch." When she gets to her car, a cop pulls up behind, blocking her in. They proceed to search the car, then arrest her and her boyfriend. It was hilarious. Fuck her. Edit. Since people are curious about why they search their car, There was more to the story, but I was typing it on my phone at work. There were 4 meth heads in total. She was just the only one that was giving me a problem. The cops showed up in the parking lot, either already looking for these people or just by coincidence. They knew the car. It was beat up and pretty recognizable if you happened to see it. 2 of the guys saw the cops when they were outside smoking the cigarette. While I was dealing with her, they came inside and went out the other door. She went back out to the car a few minutes later, where the driver, her boyfriend, I'm assuming, was already in the car. They searched it because they talked to them, ran their IDs, and they both had warrants. They were already in handcuffs in the police car when they searched the meth head's car. Last Saturday, I was in a crowded NYC subway at 2 a.m. The drunk dudes, young 20s, lighting a joint and walking around flaunting it. One literally came up to me, "You think a pothead ain't gonna smoke a joint?" Whatever that means. The whole train kept ignoring them, and they kept parading around being a bunch of morons. They spotted 2 taller, athletic-looking dudes and started making fun of them for looking like cops. It was the line, "Which one of you is the sergeant?" that finally put the athletic guys over the edge. They looked at each other, smiled, reached into their pocket and pulled out their badges. "Okay, boys, empty your pockets." The subway blew up in laughter. They would have gotten away with everything if they just didn't go bother the 2 plainclothes police officers. Score 1 for the good guys. And then I went home and smoked a joint in my living room.